Did you know that on February 24, 2022, Russia launched a massive attack on Ukraine by land, sea, and air? It was the most significant attack in Europe since World War II and has claimed thousands of lives. It's chilling if we imagine how the condition, situation, and feelings of Ukrainian civilians at the time. Surely a tense atmosphere will envelop their days. This incident has offended humanity, and if society is offended, everyone who feels that they are also human will be offended, except for human who have not yet become fully human. So, are we those among who are offended when humanity is offended? Imagine if at 7 in the morning you are awakened by the sound of missile flying right above your roof. Then, not long after that, you heard the sound of explosion and the deafening scream of children. You start to worry and try to see what is going on. But when you pick up, you can see a lot of corpses lying around, bullets flying, and your neighbors scattering in fear. Maybe if you are a former trained agent, like a main character in action films, you can calmly step yourself to a safer place. But how if you are just an ordinary person and you can do nothing? This story sounds like a nightmare, but maybe that's more or less the situation that Ukrainians feels when facing military attack from Russia. The Russian side claimed that the attack was not a war or an invasion, but rather that the attack was aimed at protecting people who was subjected to intimidation and genocide. But uh, but in the other side, Ukraine president denied the statement, saying there was no genocide in Ukraine. Many parties also thinks the main reason of Russia attack on Ukraine is Ukraine's plan to join NATO. To join NATO. This is based on the fact that President of Russia Vladimir Putin had said that NATO expansion is an existential threat, and if Ukraine join a Western military alliance, this is an act of hostility that called that called pose a threat to Russia. So far, Putin has emphasized his view that Ukraine is part of Russia culturally, linguistically, and politically. For this reason, Putin opposite the joining Ukraine to NATO. But whatever the reason, Russia's attack on Ukraine cannot be justified because it has violated human rights and international laws. Based on the Geneva Convention, the UN Human Rights Agency or Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights accuses Russia of violating human rights and even committing war crimes because Russia has used prohibited weapons and carried out indiscriminate attack that caused many civilians casualties. Russia also violated Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter regarding prohibition of the intervening in the internal affairs of other countries and the ban of using military force against other countries. In addition to regulation and laws, I think the most critical factor to protect our humanity is everyone's awareness everyone's awareness to respect human rights. And increasingly, human right, and increasingly, the modern civilization tends to make it difficult for us to empathize and care for humanity. We eat too much, and then forget that are many people are hungry. We are too busy showing off our wealth on social media, and then forget that are many people out there whose lives are very miserable. We live too calmly and forget that are many people out there whose life whose life are filled with tension and are stalked by death. We are too greedy and don't want to share, even though this world is very rich enough for everyone. We should help each other regardless the differences that exist. If we all care of humanity, this planet will be a beautiful place to live. Human rights violations between Russia and Ukraine are unfortunate and should not happen. Human rights regulation that the world citizens have agreed upon must be upheld and obeyed. I hope that there will not be another incident that tarnishes human rights in the future. Let's fight back the violence, intimidation, persecution, and propaganda that threaten human rights, to threaten humanity. Let's put aside our differences together and start to being compassionate beings, because being human is given, but keeping our humanity is a choice. Thank you.